Southmoreland and needed Bell Vernon to lose to Elizabeth Forward. Bell Vernon was taken care of by Elizabeth Forward rather easily. However, Mount Pleasant trailed by 17 points in the second half to Southmoreland and came back thanks to 14 fourth-quarter points from Hannah Hempfield, clawing all the way back and then winning 8-0 in overtime. So a big win there for Mount Pleasant. And Central Valley, a team that's 14-7, when you look at some of these losses for Central Valley, in a section with Blackhawk and Ambridge, and then also playing Neshannock during the season. So those are 5 losses to 3 incredible teams, but otherwise Central Valley's been very good this season as well.
We will have the national anthem momentarily. We're going to step aside briefly. We'll be back for the opening tip-off between Mount Pleasant and Central Valley. You are listening to and watching the 2017 WPIAL Girls Basketball Playoffs. It's sponsored by Carlow University. It's here only on the MSA Sports Network.
Right now, when you refer a friend to open a new personal or business checking account at First Commonwealth Bank, you can earn a generous cash reward. It doesn't even have to be a friend. Could be a relative. Could be a Bruins fan. Could be that guy over there with the weird hair thing going on. It doesn't matter. Refer anyone to open an account and it will really pay off for you. They'll even get a cash reward themselves, no matter who they root for. First Commonwealth Bank, member FDIC. Learn more at a local branch or visit fcbanking.com.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf. What am I going to do about this year's promo? What the?
Don, it's me, Sam Hall. All you need to do is say, for the inside scoop and an entertaining update of district boys and girls high school basketball, tune into the WPIAL Roundball Report every Wednesday night at 6, only here on the network.
Well, thanks, ghost of co-host past.
But you should strongly consider bringing me back. Please, help! The traffic never stops. It's like a Georgia Titus offense. God!
That's the WPIAL Roundball Report every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. on the MSA Sports Network.
That is on Wednesday nights, the WPIAL Roundball Report. But on this Saturday afternoon, we have first-round action in the Class 4A girls bracket. Number 8, Central Valley. Number 9, Mount Pleasant, about to tip off. I'm Sean Meyers alongside Andy Stanko. Peters Township, the venue. Starting lineups being introduced right now on the court. Andy, would you do the pleasure of introducing the starting 5 for the Vikings and for the Warriors?
For the Vikings, a starting 5 of Gabby Kiefer, Colleen Trainer, Hannah Hempfield, Addie Kabuski, and Carrie Bungard. The player to watch here from Mount Pleasant, Carrie Bungard, 6 feet tall, leading scorer for this Mount Pleasant team, college interest from Waynesburg Gannon and Penn State Fayette. On the other side for Central Valley, it's Allison Kirby, Kaylin Underwood, Kalia Jones, Madison Hiltz, and Christiane Fry. And really for Central Valley, Kaylin Underwood, a 2-year starter as a sophomore, 5'10", but plays guard. Christiane Fry, named the MVP of the C.J. Betters Holiday Classic earlier this season. This is a really, really young Central Valley team that has just 2 upperclassmen, 1 senior, 1 junior, and Kalia Jones, the senior, Madison Hiltz, the junior. And
it has been a terrific turnaround for Central Valley under third-year head coach Chris Russo when he took over the squad. His first campaign, 2-18, then 13-10 a year ago, 14-7 are the Warriors this year, including 7-5 out of Section 2. On the other side, Mount Pleasant, well, the schedule or the record typically says 12-9. Talked to head coach Scott Jacoby. He said that's incorrect. They cheated us out of a win. We actually had 13, so 13-9 is the record for the Vikings, included in 8-6 out of Section 3 of the 4A classification. As these teams about to tip off, I want to let you know that today it's not only an audio broadcast, but a video broadcast. Jess Levo manning the camera here so you can watch it live. You can watch it archived on our YouTube page as Central Valley huddling up on the floor right now. The Mount Pleasant Vikings over near the bench. Mount Pleasant will be wearing the dark blue jerseys with the white lettering and the red numbers, the blue shorts. Central Valley will be in the home white jerseys with the powder blue numbers and the white shorts. Central Valley as the number 8 seed playing as the home squad here at Peters Township. Once again, the winner of this first round matchup will advance to the quarterfinals, where the number 1 seed Cardinal World North Catholic awaits the team that prevailed in the former single A classification a year ago, gets bumped all the way up to 4A. Well, the Trojanettes have had a great regular season campaign. They're the favorites once again, although one of these teams will try their best to knock off the Trojans. But first, we'll determine which of these seeds moves on as Central Valley wins the tip-off. Layup opportunity defended well by Mount Pleasant, and it'll be a tie-up and a jump ball as Madison Hiltz had a good look at the hoop, but the Vikings able to recover defensively. Mount Pleasant now with possession just 5 seconds into this contest. We will play 4 8-minute quarters here at the high school level as the basketball on the right wing with Bungard. Now she hands off, basketball moved up top to Kabuski. She dishes off now. A drive inside off of glass is no good for Hempfield. Offensive rebound for the Vikings. Turning shot is blocked away, but a foul against Central Valley will allow Colleen Traynor to head to the stripe for the opportunity to get her team on the board. It's Underwood charged with the first personal foul of this contest. First foul shot strong off the back iron, trickles out for Traynor as she will have a second one upcoming. Just underway, 24 seconds into quarter number 1. Second foul shot off the back iron, but this time it falls through for Traynor. She's given the Vikings a 1-0 lead. Central Valley, as we see it, moving right to left on the screen as a turnover on a bad pass, that time a little too hot from Kalia Jones, as Mount Pleasant will get the basketball back 31 seconds in.
Mount Pleasant showing the press early, and that's what they're going to do to try to force turnovers. It doesn't necessarily have to be a steal. It just speeds up your processes, and then a mistake on the other end. So both of these teams early on still sort of feeling each other out and a little antsy with being the first postseason game.
And that travel charge to Hannah Hempfield, as the Vikings have been regular playoff participants. It's a quick foul in the open court against Kubuski. Addie Kubuski charged with the first team foul against Mount Pleasant. Central Valley will trigger in from the sideline. Vikings will throw it into the backcourt. As now Central Valley drives inside. We have a collision and a blocking foul against Mount Pleasant. That'll be the second team. That'll be charged again, appears to Kubuski. And she'll have to exit quickly as coming in her place, Christina Shagan. She is a junior forward.
Shagan, a 3-sport athlete for Mount Pleasant. They like her versatility out there.
Warriors with the basketball behind the arc on the right side. Now it's moved up top. Top of the key in the hands of Hiltz as she gives it back to Fry. Not a lot going on right now for Central Valley offensively. They get it down to the low block. Turning shot from the right side, hit the side of the board for Jones. Vikings come up with the basketball, now push it ahead. Mount Pleasant in the front court layup attempt. Rolls off the rim. Team's battling for it. It's out of bounds. Last touched, however, by Central Valley's Jones. It'll stay with the Vikings. Mount Pleasant up 1-0. Mount Pleasant to trigger in. Gets into the right corner for an open three. That shot's up and it's good. Knocking it down for the Vikings, Bungard. So she's given her team a 4-point edge just about a minute and a half into this opening quarter. Now good defense applied by the Vikings, pressuring the basketball. Central Valley able to defuse it by getting it to Fry. Fry gets it inside. Contact there, but the officials letting him play as Jones up off of glass and good for her team's points. It is now 4-2, Central Valley on the board. Nearly a steal the other way as the pass just finds its way through to Kiefer. Now it's moved to the right side. A driving attempt is good. Nice little touch there by Hempfield.
A nice job of Hempfield of attacking the zone. Central Valley's around her, but no one stepped to her, able to get to the rim and finish.
Warriors go in the fast break, get the hoop on a little floater. Deft touch that time by Fry. That makes it 6-4 in favor of the Vikings with 5:42 remaining in the opening stanza. Now Mount Pleasant slowing the pace down as Bungard has it on the right side, moves it into the right corner. As Shagan has the basketball, now it's up to Kiefer. Swing pass to the opposite side. The left corner three doesn't go. Battle for the rebound. It's going to be a loose ball foul against Mount Pleasant. His trainer will be charged with the personal.
Really super box out there by Madison Hiltz, who's a smaller player, a guard digging down there on the weak side. With this ball going to the far corner, it's her responsibility to get to the block and box out, and that's exactly what she did, able to draw the foul. And you don't have to be bigger or jump high to rebound. It's about getting to the right spot, moving your feet first, and then positioning. And Madison Hiltz, a really nice job right there.
Warriors have a freshman handling the basketball. It's Kylie Magnotta. She now pushes it ahead, gets it right back on the right side, moves it to the top of the key to Underwood. Underwood still with the dribble, now moves it back to the perimeter on the right side. Fry drives in, nice little feed underneath. Layup opportunity doesn't go, but it'll be a foul against the Vikings as Jones, who's been active in the early going, will head to the line for 2 shots.
Doesn't really surprise me to see Jones as the senior on this Central Valley team to be the most comfortable player here early on. But you certainly look for some of the younger players to get more comfortable as the game goes on.
First shot strong, however, for Jones. And a little note right below us, Sandy, is Mount Pleasant's Hannah Hempfield getting her elbow taped extensively. She already had a pad on the left elbow. Now they're doing a tape job.
And she was super in the win over Southmoreland just to qualify for the playoffs.
Jones can't hit the second foul shot either, so it remains 6-4 in favor of Mount Pleasant. Just about 3 minutes into quarter number 1. Sean Meyers, Andy Stanko on the call as the basketball tipped out of bounds by Magnotta, but it will stay with the Vikings. The trigger in will be Kiefer, right in front of the Central Valley bench. First round action here at Peters Township. A triple header here today on the MSA Sports Network. It's the second of 2 calls for us after we saw an overtime thriller on the boys' side. Mount Pleasant gets it inside, losing her footing that time with Shagan. Basketball goes out of bounds, but it will stay with the Vikings because of foul against Central Valley, and that will be charged to Fry, her first. And will be 2 shots upcoming for the Vikings. First one is swished. Second one upcoming for Mount Pleasant. The Vikings holding a 7-4 edge. This is Aubrey Baranek. The second shot upcoming as the officials conferring before Baranek has the opportunity to get the basketball again. Yeah, and they're talking right now about that elbow pad that we talked about with Hempfield as she was getting it worked on. Now she takes it off. All right, so apparently there's some issue with her wearing that protective sleeve, so she's going to go without it. Hey, you got to tough it out for the playoffs, huh? Second shot rattles out. Tough break that time for Baranek as she goes 1 of 2. 7-4 in favor of Mount Pleasant. Magnotta has the basketball the other way. Now she gives it to Fry. Fry picks up the dribble. Her pass is stolen. Good job jumping that one for Mount Pleasant, taking it the distance off of glass and good. Hannah Hempfield showing no ill effects of that elbow sleeve being off. She's given her team the 9-4 lead. Now Central Valley comes back the other way. Transition opportunity. They couldn't get the shot off, though. It was tied up wonderfully by Gabby Kiefer. It'll be a jump ball, and alternating possession will keep it with the Warriors. Julianne Kaup will check in for Mount Pleasant. Sophomore guard wearing number 2.
And she'll replace Hannah Hempfield. And I think the trainer won that battle with Hannah Hempfield, saying you've got to get this figured out. And she's getting her elbow worked on right now.
So Warriors in possession, trailing by 5, just about halfway through this first quarter. We have a whistle and an offensive foul against Central Valley.
That's big. That's Kaylin Underwood, and she is one of the premier players for Central Valley and is really important for what they do and has great size and versatility. She's got to be careful now with 2, and you see a substitution to the table maybe for her.
That's 14 fouls against the Warriors. Mount Pleasant with possession and the lead, 9-4. Vikings move the basketball to the right side as Trainer, a skip pass across, now baseline drive is cut off. Nice defense against Bungard. Vikings still have the basketball up top. 3-pointers partially blocked. Central Valley now out in transition. Magnato head of the pack, but it was a little out of her reach. She's able to keep it alive, however. Central Valley's now going to take a 17-foot jumper. That one rattles out, but falling her own miss was Fry, but the basketball goes out of bounds off of Central Valley. And in now for the Warriors is Harley Johns, number 45. These officials are getting their money's worth in the early going here, Andy. So they're going to talk to Mount Pleasant. Apparently there could be another issue with Hempfield as she has tape on her elbow, and they're not satisfied with that either.
And she's one of the really important players for.
I'm not exactly sure what the issue is. Apparently they're not going to allow her to wear any sort of covering or protection on that elbow whatsoever.
And so maybe some further clarification is needed, but the game's going on. We'll see if at a timeout or in between quarters, the official will talk to Coach.
Magnato with the steal. She's in the open court. Beautiful hesitation up off of glass and good. A great steal and the finish by Kylie Magnato has pulled her team within 3.
And she's had a block and a steal now. She's coming off the bench and as a freshman bringing some good intensity on that side of the floor.
Now another steal for the Warriors, but a foul whistled against Central Valley as jumping that passing lane was Jones. We'll see if they charge her with the foul.
It is Jones, and Jones from the middle of the back line in the zone trying to get around the offensive player. That did a nice job in timing her move. And Hempfield back into the game once again.
Now she has the black tape. It's identical tape job, but this time it's black instead of blue. I don't know if that's the difference or not, as the Vikings are going to take a left corner 3. That shot a bit strong, goes over the backboard off the hands of Bungard. The Central Valley trailing by 3, just under 3 minutes left in quarter number 1. I'm Sean Meyers alongside Andy Stanko. Good pressure defense applied by the Vikings, and we're going to have an offensive foul. Magnato that time extended the elbow. She's not happy, but the freshman charged with the personal.
And that'll be 5 team fouls going against Central Valley. And that's one thing this officiating crew has been all over is the illegal screens and the offensive fouls. So take that into account and adjust offensively for both teams.
Not a great flow to this opening quarters. We've already had 9 fouls whistled. Still 2:40 remaining in the opening period. Vikings trying to get the basketball inside, not able to do so. Now a baseline drive is cut off. It'll be a blocking foul, and that, I believe, will be the second charge to Jones.
So 2 on Kalia Jones, 2 on Kaylin Underwood, 2 really important players for what Coach Russo wants to do with Central Valley. And so both of them take a seat there on the bench.
Lauren Kotoski checks in. Now a jumper from the left corner. That one doesn't go for Mount Pleasant, trying to keep the basketball alive. That time was Baranek, but not able to do so inbounds. Central Valley will get the basketball back. Lauren Kostoski on the floor for the Warriors. Central Valley already having some foul issues with 6 team personals. Basketball moved up top to Magnato. She's still in the dribble, now dishes to the right side where Fry has it. Gets back to Magnato, and she's able to knock down a trifecta from the right corner. And the young freshman doing her job.
She scored the last 5 points for Central Valley and playing with a lot of confidence, not hesitating with the open shot.
Vikings getting into the right block. Nice little touch pass. It was a 6-foot shot, but it didn't fall for the Vikings. Defensive board cleared after the miss by Shagan. Magnotta again, quick trigger, this time short off of the iron, and a rebound grabbed by Mount Pleasant. A loose ball foul charge to Central Valley, and this will already be the bonus scenario for the Vikings, and that is very problematic for the number 8 seed Central Valley in this contest. So Kostowski charged with the personal. And if you're Mount Pleasant right now, Andy, continue to work the basketball inside, get to the hoop, and put the pressure on the defense. As the foul shot missed, it's out of bounds. Last touch by Mount Pleasant.
Funny how it works out, because this is very similar to the game we saw earlier this afternoon, where one team was in the bonus in the first quarter alone and then didn't make it count. So yes, attack the basket, push the pace, and get to the line.
Magnotta pushes it ahead. Central Valley nearly loses the basketball out of bounds, but the Warriors able to cover, now get it to the foul line. Magnotta spins and moves it to the right side behind the arc, and pressured there for Central Valley was Fry, but she hands off. Magnotta doing a lot of the ball handling right now. It's a freshman showing experience beyond her years. Fry now picks up the dribble. She looks for the handoff. Able to get it to Hiltz, her teammate, who gets it right back to Fry. Fry drives in again, dishes back. Magnotta gets inside. Scoop shot doesn't go. And now we have a foul underneath against Mount Pleasant on a good follow on the rebound by Christiane Fry.
Fry, nice play, right place, right time. Magnotta really impressive. That was a really nice take. It just didn't fall, but then Central Valley, a nice job of crashing the offensive boards, especially without Jones or Underwood on the floor, and that's a little bit of Central Valley's size. So mixing it up inside there was Fry, and it pays off with the first free throw.
She makes it a 1-point contest in her team's favor. There's a substitution for Mount Pleasant as Kiefer returns to the floor. Julianne Kaup heads to the bench. 54 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. Central Valley holding a 1-point lead. Fry can't convert the second, however, but it's an offensive rebound. Now we have a traveling violation against Central Valley. And Chris Russo, the head coach in his third year, none too happy. He didn't like that call one bit.
It just looked like Chagan sort of pushed the CV player to the ground, and a whistle and a foul there, and you have the stream. You can judge it for yourself.
Bungard with the basketball in the front court. Her pass is stolen. Magnotta comes up with it, dishes ahead. Scramble for the basketball. And it's out of bounds on Central Valley, as that time Allison Kirby couldn't find the handle. 38 seconds remaining for the Vikings in this first quarter. Mount Pleasant, the number 9 seed, trailing by a single point. Blue-clad Vikings get the basketball into the front court. Skip pass, that one was dangerous. Poked away, out of bounds. Last touch by Kostowski.
3-2 zone look now for Central Valley. They've been mixing it up a little bit. And now a 1-2-2 really with pressure on the ball.
Nearly a travel by Mount Pleasant, able to hold her footing that time was Hempfield, however. Now the Vikings running out of real estate. The pass is moved to a corner. Quick jumper. That one's down. A step inside the line for Mount Pleasant and for Traynor. Long 2-point field goal. Now a foul committed by the Vikings, as tight roping the sideline was Magnotta. That's Hempfield's first personal, and the 6th against Mount Pleasant. So I have a feeling this second quarter there's going to be a lot of foul shots attempted if these teams are smart offensively. Now the final seconds tick off. Central Valley not able to get a shot off, as holding the basketball too long was Fry. So we have concluded the first 8 minutes of action, and after the opening stanza, it is an 11-10 lead for Mount Pleasant over Central Valley. We'll step aside. You are listening to and watching 2017 WPIAL Girls Playoff Basketball, sponsored by Carly University. It's here on the MSA Sports Network.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDrivesYou. Carlow University, a proud sponsor of the MSA Sports Network.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Back here to begin quarter number 2. I'm Sean Meyers alongside Andy Stanko. Just Levo providing the videography for this video stream broadcast. Number 8, Central Valley. Number 9, Mount Pleasant in the girls 4A bracket first round. And after the opening 8 minutes, Mount Pleasant holding a narrow 11-10 lead. Vikings to trigger in to begin this second stanza. Mount Pleasant moves the basketball to the left side. Now it's swung over to the right side as Shagan has it. She throws a skip pass right back. A jumper from a step inside the arc from the left side, no good for Hempfield. And now a jump ball as the defensive rebound is grabbed, but Bungard for Mount Pleasant got her hands in. Possession arrow will keep it with Central Valley, however. Couldn't get a real good flow or pace to that opening quarter, Andy, because of all the fouls. Central Valley gets the basketball to the foul line, and speaking of which, we have another whistle. This one will be the 7th team foul against Mount Pleasant. That means Central Valley will now head to the line as Harley Johns will step to the 15-foot mark. Trainer charged with her second, and she will exit the contest. Baranek returns in her place. Johns with the 1-and-1. High foul shot long, and defensive rebound corralled by Mount Pleasant. Hempfield moves the basketball into the front court. Now a baseline drive, and Aaron shot that time by Kiefer. It was an air ball. Central Valley comes back pushing the other way. Delving inside off of glass and good as Magnotta as she continues her impressive performance. She now has 7 points. 12-11 Central Valley. 45 seconds into this second quarter. Now Pleasant working on the perimeter. Kiefer with a skip pass across to Bungard on the opposite side. She takes a 12-foot floater. That one strong off the rim. Offensive rebound put back. That one doesn't go for Mount Pleasant and for Baranek. Teams battling, and it's going to be another jump ball. This time it'll stay with Mount Pleasant. Just over a minute into quarter number 2. Winner of this contest advances to place the number 1 seed, Cardinal World North Catholic, on February 23rd. Time and location yet to be announced. Shea again with the basketball. Now it goes into the left corner where a jumper is an air ball for Hempfield. Magnotta comes back the other way. Now backs behind the arc, gives it off to a teammate, Kostowski. She's cut off, has picked up the dribble, now looking for help. Able to find some in the form of Hiltz. Hiltz moves it back to the right corner, and a jumper is an air ball that time for Kostowski, but an offensive rebound by Central Valley who give the Warriors second life. Now a drive inside high off of glass. That one doesn't fall, but another rebound. An immediate jumper by Central Valley. The Vikings just cannot corral a defensive rebound. Central Valley with a third and fourth opportunity. Now Fry with the basketball on the left side. She drives in, a little floater, wild off of glass, and finally Mount Pleasant able to corral that basketball. Was ripping it strong. That time was Bungard. Vikings come back the other way. Move it to the right side to Bungard. Now she finds Kiefer, who drives inside, out of control. Wild shot. That one had no prayer as the Warriors get the basketball, and a subsequent foul in the open court against Mount Pleasant will allow Central Valley to go right back to the charity stripe.
That's a couple times for Kiefer attacking the basket and getting a little bit too wild in trying to do so. I know the foul count is high, so you just need to draw a foul to get to the free throw line, but still have the objective of putting the ball in the basket instead of trying to wildly flail and just draw the whistle.
Second personal charge to Hempfield as Magnotta has the 1-and-1. Able to switch the first. Second one will be upcoming. as her team now up 13-11.
And she's done a really nice job. The last possession where Central Valley had all those offensive rebounds, she had the first of them where she was on the weak side, able to sneak in and grab it and keep it alive.
Second foul shot rims out, but Central Valley comes up with the loose ball. Now it's a scramble for it. Warriors get it again. They're winning those battles right now on the 50-50 opportunities, although not able to capitalize as a pass out of the reach of Kaylin Underwood. It goes out of bounds. Turnover will give it back to the Vikings, trailing by 2.
But you can go to Magnata and a steal, a block, a 50-50 ball. She's been doing a lot of different things defensively and really has helped Central Valley with the absence of Kaylin Underwood and Kaylia Jones with foul trouble.
Kalp dribbles into the front court. Vikings now looking for something inside. Layup's good. It's going to be an and one opportunity. Gabby Kiefer with big points. She's tied the game and will have a chance to put her squad ahead if she's able to convert.
And Gabby Kiefer, there you go. Driving to the basket with the intention to score. She didn't get the whistle the last couple of times, and that time did get to the basket, did get bumped, and still able to finish. And for the senior, a chance to give her team the lead.
Johns picks up the foul. Now shot is good for Kiefer. That's a timeout called by Mount Pleasant. It'll be a full timeout, so we'll step aside as well. Mount Pleasant holding a 14-13 lead over Central Valley. It's the 2017 WPIAL Girls Basketball Playoffs. It's sponsored by Carlow University. You're listening to it and watching it here on the MSA Sports Network.
MSA Sports broadcasts are now available on both Android and iOS devices. Just navigate to the game of your choice, and on your mobile device, press the arrow or play button. It's that easy. No app needed. No matter where you are, MSA Sports content is available at your fingertips via your iPad, Android phone, iPod, and iPhone. Anytime, anywhere, always there. The MSA Sports Network.
The MSA Sports Network always there for 2017 boys and girls WPIAL basketball playoffs. This is a first-round matchup in the 4A bracket on the girls' side. And this year, with the reclassifications and the realignments, we see a lot of 12-team brackets. This is a full 16. Or excuse me, this one is one of those 12-team brackets, I should say.
Yep, top 4 teams all into the quarterfinals already, and that's North Catholic, Blackhawk, Ambridge, and Keystone Oaks already awaiting the winners of games going on today.
5:15 remaining, quarter number 2. Central Valley with the basketball, trailing by 1 to Mount Pleasant. As the Warriors go inside out, now Magnata has it up top. Bounce pass to the right side, skip over to the left. As Hiltz moves it and gets it right back. Now bounce pass down low. Good look at a layup, but a little too strong that time by Johns. Battle for the basketball, and Mount Pleasant comes up with it. Now the Vikings look to push the pace. Three-pointer in transition. That one a bit strong on the attempt by Josie Beneler. The basketball goes out of bounds. It will be Mount Pleasant's possession still. First time we've seen Beneler in this contest. The Vikings get the basketball down to the left block. It's stripped away, but a great job with the hustle, and Mount Pleasant able to get it underneath for an easy 2 points for Kalp. Julianne Kalp on the score sheet. And makes it 16-13 with now 4:20 remaining in this second stanza. Warriors trying to answer with a three-pointer. That one off the front iron, but an offensive rebound, a putback, and that time hacked on her way to the hoop was Magnata.
She's been really, really impressive today. And I know we've said it several times about her play, but just making a lot of good decisions. It's not even just making shots, and she does have a team-high 8 points, but getting in the right spot, offensively, defensively, she's got a really nice feel for the game right now, even though she missed the first free throw.
Second one will be upcoming. It was a 2-shot foul charged to Mount Pleasant and to Christina Shagan. Second one long as well. So Magnata 0 of 2. Her team remains down by 3 points. Kalp with the dribble for Mount Pleasant. Now the basketball goes into the left corner. It's given back to Kalp, who dribbles up top on the Peters Township logo here at the home court of the Indians. Vikings with a bounce pass down low to the right block. Nice double team by Central Valley, but a good feed out of it. Kubuski had a clean look, couldn't get the shot to go, and then a tie-up on the rebound. Alternating possession will allow the Warriors to get the basketball. Good feed that time, Andy. Just point-blank shot didn't fall for Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, Christiana Chagan right there with the bounce pass. Unable to finish there, and Chagan comes out. Colleen Trainer back in to replace her. Colleen Trainer playing with 2 fouls, by the way, here in the last half of the second quarter.
A blocking foul against Mount Pleasant will lead to another 1-and-1 scenario. Kiefer will be whistled for this one. And that's the 10th team foul, so it'll actually be the double bonus. So Fry has 2 upcoming. First one is swished. Pulls her team within 2. As the Vikings going deep into the bench, Chloe Jaworski enters this game. Second shot, that one's strong. So Fry 1 of 2, makes it a 16-14 game. Now Jaworski's pass is broken up, intercepted. Central Valley has numbers coming the other way. Magnata gets to the hoop, and she's fouled hard. She'll have 2 more shots upcoming, as it's been a parade for the Warriors to the charity stripe in quarter number 2.
And taking a whole bunch of the free throws are Magnata. She's shooting her 7th and 8th free throws of the quarter here now.
First one off to the left, however. She's now missed 4 in a row, and that's problematic, Andy. It's a good thing to continue to get to the foul line and put pressure on the defense, but Central Valley has to convert better here. Second one strong as well, and the Vikings come up with the loose ball. 3:23 left in this first half of play. Mount Pleasant holding a 16-14 lead in this low-scoring affair. Bungard with the basketball. Hempfield with the basketball, and her pass tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with Mount Pleasant, where Bungard will trigger in. Dangerous pass, but a beautiful catch by Hempfield as she gets it back to Bungard from the left side. Well contested 3, a bit strong, but an offensive rebound by Jaworski. Now baseline drive, a little short off the glass that time by Kubuski. Central Valley able to corral the defensive rebound. Warriors looking to tie or take the lead as we're under 3 minutes left in quarter number 2. Sean Meyers, Andy Stanko here on the call on the MSA Sports Network. Basketball tipped out on the entry feed off of Kubuski. It'll stay with Central Valley.
And really, for Mount Pleasant this quarter, it's been a struggle, only 3 points so far. A lot of times, giving so many fouls, it's allowed Central Valley to shoot free throws and then set its defense. Here, a dead ball turnover. Once again, Mount Pleasant setting its defense, and Central Valley just 1-3 so far in this game. The outside shots haven't been falling for Carrie Bungard and company, and it is a challenge against the zone at this level when you're packed in and disciplined like Central Valley is.
Yeah, I mistakenly said it would be off of Mount Pleasant, but it was last touched by the Warriors as a pull-up jumper, partially blocked, but a foul committed by Central Valley on the attempt by Hempfield as she'll head to the stripe. Kostowski gets her second. That is a team 9th foul, but it will be 2 shots for Hempfield as she was in the act. Trying to make this potentially a 2-possession game as the first one's good. One more upcoming for Hannah Hempfield, wearing number 22 for Mount Pleasant. Second shot a bit strong, but an offensive rebound for the Vikings. Now the basketball's on the floor. Girls reaching. And it's going to be a tie-up. It'll stay with Mount Pleasant. Good hustle, however, by Kubuski. As Addie Kubuski, the 5'8" junior for the Vikings, able to get in on that one. Vikings get the basketball into Kiefer. Now into the left corner, back to Kiefer. She drives in, beautiful bounce pass. The layup attempt no good. The second offering also missed. Trainer had 2 point-blank looks at it. And then a foul against the Vikings after Kiefer wasn't able to knock him down, so compounding the miss. And that's going to lead to 2 foul shots the other way for Central Valley, as I think they're going to get Trainer on the personal. Indeed, they will, and that's her third. You think this choppy pace has favored either one of these teams in particular, Andy?
Well, it would be favoring Central Valley, I think, because they've shot more free throws. However, Central Valley's missed a whole bunch of free throws.
Including that first one by Fry.
Count at least 10 missed free throws for Central Valley so far.
Second one goes, however, for Fry. She's now 3 of 6 on her attempts. Central Valley is pulled within 2, 17-15, just over 2 minutes left in this second stanza.
But on the other side, Mount Pleasant has more players in foul trouble, and you really see Coach Jacoby digging deep into his bench. So that negatively impacts the Vikings as well.
Pass tipped out of bounds by Central Valley.
But I think the point here is neither team has really taken control of this game. It's really, they're both sort of just muddling around at this point.
Kauf's pass was stolen. Central Valley now ahead of the pack in a layup attempt. Great body control by Magnotta. She was able to hang up in the air, finish, and we're even 17 points apiece. A lot of dribbling now by Mount Pleasant, and Hempfield in particular, and her passes picked off. A little careless with the basketball, or the Vikings, as Magnotta has it now crossing the timeline with a slow dribble. Minute and a half remaining in this first half of play. It's 17-17 in this first round 8-9 matchup between Central Valley and Mount Pleasant. Now the Vikings come up with a steal. Good job getting her hands on it by Bungard, and it's given right back. Neither team can take advantage. Magnotta comes in, a Euro step off of glass. That one nearly was a spectacular shot, just didn't fall. Now the Vikings have a 3-on-0 the other way, and they convert. On the finish that time was Kaup. Back and forth action. Offense has been hard to come by. Now a floater and a foul committed by Mount Pleasant. That'll be a 2-shot foul as Fry will head back to the line.
That might have been the longest stretch this whole game as the foul going against Mount Pleasant. That's 3 on Addie Kubuski. The longest stretch we may have had in a while without a foul called. And you saw both teams want to get up and down the floor, but neither team doing a great job of defending without fouling. But missed free throws continue to be a theme for Central Valley in this game.
The first one no good for Fry. She will have a second one upcoming, trying to pull her team within a single point. The second one does go. As a result, it's 19-18. Now under a minute remaining in this second quarter. Mount Pleasant in possession. Vikings try to get it inside, but the basketball's tipped and stolen. And now losing the footing for Central Valley was Magnotta, but her teammates able to pick up the loose ball. Now back to Magnotta. She has it up at the top of the key. Vikings, good interior defense. That lob pass was a bit too high. Not able to haul it in. That time was Underwood. A turnover gives it right back to Mount Pleasant.
And again, Underwood playing with 2 fouls. Kalia Jones also 2 fouls for Central Valley, but Underwood the only one out on the floor.
Vikings could hold for the final shot if they elect to do so. Now down to 22 seconds in quarter number 2. Kaup gets it inside. Spinning shot, a wild one off of the front iron and rolls out on the attempt by Trainer. And now a player stepped out of bounds for Central Valley along the far sideline. So Mount Pleasant with 14.6 will get another chance to hold for the final shot. Vikings get the basketball in to Benneler. Now a pass across is stolen. Guess who? Magnotta. She drives in. A little short off of the iron. Put back opportunity doesn't go. Basketball's tipped out of bounds with 0.7 of a second left. And it'll be Mount Pleasant basketball. So barring a miracle shot or a foul here, the Vikings will hold a 1-point lead heading into the locker room.
And in this case, just get it in and get to the locker room.
Warriors have 3 girls in the front court here defensively in case the pass is an errant one. Vikings do get it in, and they'll be content to take the 1-point lead into the locker room. Mount Pleasant 19, Central Valley 18. We'll step aside. We'll be back with our thoughts and a scoring recap of the first half of play. You are listening to and watching 2017 WPIAL Girls playoff basketball. It's sponsored by Carlow University, and it's here only on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
Right now, when you refer a friend to open a new personal or business checking account at First Commonwealth Bank, you can earn a generous cash reward. It doesn't even have to be a friend. Could be a relative. Could be a Bruins fan. Could be that guy over there with the weird hair thing going on. It doesn't matter. Refer anyone to open an account, and it will really pay off for you. They'll even get a cash reward themselves, no matter who they root for. First Commonwealth Bank, member FDIC. Learn more at a local branch or visit fcbanking.com.
This is Josh Roundtree from the PIHL Power Play Show at MSASports.net. Along with Kevin Zilmansky, we plan to bring you the best high school hockey talk in Western PA this season. We'll cover every classification, AAA, AA, Single A, and D2.
All right, D2, Gordon Bombay, Charlie Conway,
wait.
the Bash Brothers,
Kevin.
Wolf the Dennis Stenson, the Flying V.
No, Kevin, it's Division 2.
It's Knuckle Puck time?
All right, it's Knuckle Puck time. It's the PIHL Power Play Show sponsored by Chatham University every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock at MSASports.net.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlow. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveSYou. Carlow University, a proud sponsor of the MSA Sports Network.
High school wrestling is in full swing for yet another season, and inside of WPIAL Wrestling Circle is here to cover it every step of the way. But to bulk up our coverage, we had to bring in some help.
Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? Put that down.
No, not that help. Instead, we turn to the Pennsylvania Wrestling Man of the Year.
I'm Jeff Upson of PA Power Wrestling. Each week we will break down the matches, the tournaments, and more to give you the most in-depth analysis of wrestling like you've never seen before.
Listen in to Inside of WPIAL Wrestling Circle every Monday night at 7, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
We've reached the half of this first round matchup between Central Valley and Mount Pleasant in the girls bracket. I'm Sean Meyers alongside Andy Stanko, Jess Levo, providing the videography, and after the first 16 minutes of action, the Vikings of Mount Pleasant holding a narrow 19-18 lead over Central Valley. Andy, your thoughts on what was a pretty slow-paced first half with a ton of whistles, a lot of fouls, and neither team really able to gain the upper hand for any sustained amount of time.
Well, my thoughts as far as these two teams and what their aspirations are in terms of going far in the playoffs, making the quarterfinals and beyond. North Catholic awaits in the next round, and if a half like this occurs for either of these teams, whomever comes out victorious against North Catholic, it's not going to cut it. With both teams giving as many fouls as they did, with both teams missing as many free throws as they have. Central Valley 5 for 17 from the free throw line in the first half. Mount Pleasant 3 of 8. And really tough to get into a rhythm, tough to get up and down the floor, and tough to get easy baskets for either side. We can get into our scoring summary, which is, of course, brought to you by UPMC, our scoring recap sponsoring the Stay Strong and Play On campaign here at MSA Sports. And for the leading Mount Pleasant Vikings, you've got 6 different players who have scored. Hannah Hempfield, the leading scorer for the Vikings, with 5. Julianne Kaup with 4. 3 points for Carrie Bungard and Colleen Trainer. 2 points for Gabby Kiefer. And a single point for Aubrey Baranek. For Central Valley, 3 scores. Kylie Magnata, 11 points, 5 for Christiane Fry, and 2 for Kalia Jones. And Jones, one of the Central Valley players in foul trouble along with Kaylin Underwood. And for Mount Pleasant, reaching deep into the benches, Coach Scott Jacoby has several players in foul trouble, 2 on Hannah Hempfield, 3 on both Colleen Trainer and Addie Kubuski.
That is the scoring recap sponsored by First Commonwealth Bank. Time to be first, just about halfway through this intermission. Any thoughts on what the head coaches might be telling their squads right now, Andy? Because you mentioned neither team probably up to the caliber of play they're capable of, but one of these teams will be able to bear down and move on. What's it going to take for one of these squads to come out of here with the W?
Well, to assert yourself and play the style of basketball that's gotten you to this place in the playoffs as a successful team for either side. And both of these teams average more than 19 points and a half. You look at Central Valley through the season, 52 points per game. You look at Mount Pleasant through the season, 48 points per game. They're certainly capable of more. Let's see more in this second half. Let's not leave anything out on the floor or any stone unturned in terms of offensive firepower or what could be done in this game, because for the seniors on either side, there is no tomorrow except for a win. And Mount Pleasant certainly has more of the upperclassmen presence with Kiefer, Hempfield, and Bungard compared to Central Valley, just one senior. And I really look for them to assert themselves here in the second half.
We will step aside briefly. We'll be back with quarter number 3 action here from Peters Township as Mount Pleasant holding a 19-18 lead over Central Valley. You are listening to and watching the 2017 WPIAL Girls Basketball Playoffs. It's sponsored by Carlow University. It's here only on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to follow the MSA Sports Network on social media this season for the most up-to-date scores, pictures, videos, breaking news, and links to our articles. You can find the MSA Sports Network on Twitter and Instagram under the handle MSA Sports and at facebook.com/MSA Sports. The MSA Sports Network is also on YouTube under the handle MSA Sports WPIAL, where you can watch hundreds of interviews with local student athletes, full games, highlights, and more. Whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or our websites, MSA Sports is the place to go for high school sports in Western Pennsylvania.
Right now, when you refer a friend to open a new personal or business checking account at First Commonwealth Bank, you can earn a generous cash reward. It doesn't even have to be a friend. Could be a relative. Could be a Bruins fan. Could be that guy over there with the weird hair thing going on. It doesn't matter. Refer anyone to open an account, and it will really pay off for you. They'll even get a cash reward themselves, no matter who they root for. First Commonwealth Bank, member FDIC. Learn more at a local branch or visit fcbanking.com.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Just about set to begin quarter number 3 here. Peters Township High School, the venue. Mount Pleasant holding a 19-18 lead over Central Valley on the girls' bracket first round action. I want to let you know that this game and the broadcast rights to this game are the sole and exclusive property of the WPIAL and the MSA Sports Network. Any broadcast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of the listening audience, and any use, rebroadcast, or distribution of this broadcast without the express written consent of the WPIAL and the MSA Sports Network is strictly prohibited. I'm Sean Meyers alongside Andy Stanko here on the call. Jess Levo working the camera on this audio and video simulcast in the first round matchup of this 4A bracket. Once again, the winner will await the number 1 seed overall in the classification, the Cardinal World North Catholic Trojanettes. reigning champions in the former single A classification.
Well, state champs.
Yes.
State champs.
Yes, they lost to Vincentian in the WPIAL championship. They got some redemption, though, knocked off the Royals en route to the state title.
And I know the 3 classifications below this one, very happy that Cardinal World North Catholic no longer a problem for all of those former single A schools.
Central Valley will begin quarter number 3 with the basketball. The Warriors wearing the home white jerseys with the light blue numbers and the white pants. Mount Pleasant in the dark blue jerseys with the red numbers and the blue pants. Central Valley will be going left to right as we see it, and strong defense right off the get-go from the Vikings as Mount Pleasant comes up with the steal in the form of Bungard. Now the Vikings get the basketball ahead. Layup attempt no good for Kiefer. She had a clean look at it, just couldn't get it over the front of the iron. Warriors come back the other way. Magnata, who saw extensive time in that first half, and now a good entry feed. Layup attempt underneath for Jones, and she's fouled. She'll head to the line for 2.
And for Jones, really nice deep entry or post position where she caught that pass, able to get right to the basket in just one move, and then the foul had to be given by Chagan. And so free throws for Jones, but the free throw line really where Central Valley has struggled, 5 for 17 in the first half.
Low crouch, the shot is good for Central Valley's Kalia Jones. She has 3 points and has converted her first foul shot in 3 attempts. Second one forthcoming. This would give her team the lead if it's good. It's Strong, however, and the defensive rebound snagged by the Vikings. Now a feed into the left corner as Kiefer dribbles up top, moves it to her teammate Hempfield. Now the Vikings work on the low block on the right side. Shot hits the side of the backboard, however, for Kabuski. Warriors come up with it. Good ball movement, just not able to convert. Bounce pass for Central Valley, gets into the hands of Hiltz as she backs her way in, tries to leave a pass, and it's going to lead to a turnover as Mount Pleasant's Bungard comes up within the open court. Now she disses it across. That one's broken up, but the Vikings able to stay with it. Bungard wide open. She's calling for the basketball, but it's intercepted by Magnata, who's then fouled after she was able to pick that pass off. That's 2 quick team fouls against the Vikings, who go to the bench just over a minute into this third quarter.
And for Hempfield, that's her 3rd foul as it's Kelp to replace her. And Hempfield really arguing her case that she just let Magnata go after the initial contact, and Magnata perhaps an open court and a layup, but
yeah, that's not a terrible foul to take there because it probably prevented an easy 2 as Magnata in possession, loses the handle momentarily but gets it off to a teammate, and now a drive from the foul line. That one in and out, but it'll be 2 shots upcoming for Underwood. And she has a chance to stake her team to a third quarter edge. Kabuski gets her 4th for Mount Pleasant. First foul shot rattles out. That one was halfway down. Second one will be impending for Underwood. That one off the front iron and falls out, so she wasn't able to capitalize.
Make that 6 for 21 now, Central Valley from the line.
Vikings can't convert on the layup attempt, but Kiefer will head to the line. And much like the first half, we've seen a number of whistles. Less than a minute and a half into this third quarter, already 4 total fouls. That's the 3rd against Underwood. It's going to turn out to be a battle of attrition, I think, before it's all said and done, as Kiefer's first rattles out.
And I'm not sure any lead is really safe in this game with both teams 6 for 21 one side, make it now 3 for 10 the other side to ice a game.
Vikings come up with a loose ball, though, and a quick fire 3 from straight on is a bit strong from Bumgard. Now the Warriors get the basketball in the front court. Pass underneath to Jones. She can't hit the first, stays with it. Now the basketball's on the floor. Girls scrambling. It'll be a jump ball. Possession will give it back to the Vikings. Yeah, nothing's easy to come by offensively right now for these squads. Nearly 2 minutes into the third quarter, just 1 point scored. As the teams combined have gone 1 of 6 from the stripe. That's just in this quarter alone. As Bungard moves it up top. Now a drive inside for Kalp. Loses the handle, gets it back, turning shot a bit strong. She falls to miss again, and this one rattles home. Much needed 2 points for Julianne Kalp.
Nice job of following her shot after the initial miss. The two defenders in front of her were taller, but she's still able to get the rebound.
Layup the other way for Underwood, her first points of the game. She did a nice job patiently probing inside. We're deadlocked at 21-21, 2.5 minutes into this third stance. I'm Sean Meyers alongside Andy Stanko here on the call at Peters Township. 12-team bracket in 4A girls. Mount Pleasant, the number 9 seed. Central Valley, number 8. Bounce pass. It was a wide open target there for the Vikings, but it was out of the reach of Kalp. As a result, it'll be a turnover. Central Valley to trigger in front of the Vikings bench now. As Jones having a hard time finding a teammate. Now she is able to get it to Magnotta. Magnotta's certainly putting in a hard day's work thus far. As she has a little bit of crease, tries to get down the lane. It's poked away, but last off of Mount Pleasant, and in particular, Gabby Kiefer. Hiltz to throw in. It's off of the hands of Underwood, but she's able to track it down before it gets to the timeline. Now she drives, dishes into the left corner. Right back inside, spinning move for Underwood. She's starting to get a rhythm going. She has 4 points, and she's given Central Valley a 23-21 edge with 4:43 remaining in this third frame. Guard moves it to the left side of the floor. Now down low. Vikings go inside out. Ends up in the grasp of Kiefer, who tried spinning in, lost the basketball, but was getting it over to a teammate. Now Bungard, a long three. That one's strong, and a good job tracking the basketball by Magnotta. She now has a 2-on-1. Dishes across, an easy layup. That one rattles around and falls through. 6 points in the quarter for Underwood. Central Valley up now by 4.
And Underwood, 2 of her 3 field goals coming left block, left hand, able to shield herself from the defender and still finish at the basket. Skilled for a sophomore.
Second of 3 games here in this triple header at Peters Township, as another layup attempt doesn't go for the Vikings. Central Valley has the basketball, pushing ahead. Even numbers 3-on-3, so the Warriors will pull it back. Hiltz thought better of it, gets it to a cutting Magnotta, who's hit on the way to the hoop, and that will be a 2-shot foul that will send the young guard for the Warriors to the charity stripe. Fourth team foul already, the first personal charge to Bungard. Foul shooting woes continue, however, as that one rattles out for Magnotta. And now a 30-second timeout by the Vikings. We will keep it right here. Central Valley holding a 25-21 edge, just a little more than halfway through this third quarter. Sean Meyers, Andy Stanko. With the foul troubles from the line both these teams have endured, do you expect to see more defensive scenarios where if it's going to be an easy shot or an open layup, you kind of just hack the player and force them to earn them from the stripe?
Yeah, especially for Central Valley, where I think it's mental at this point. And for the Warriors, however, I'm really pleased to see Caitlin Underwood, if you're from that perspective, get things going in the second half. Use her size and her skill to get to the left hand and finish there at the basket, because for Mount Pleasant, no real answer for her down there, especially when they get out and move in transition, which has been so hard with the tight whistle in this contest.
Third-year head coach for Central Valley, Chris Russo, on the other side. Scott Jacoby, year number 12, where he's had a lot of success with this Mount Pleasant team, perennial playoff squad. Foul shot long. Battle for the rebound, and the Warriors come up with it. Turn inside for Underwood, and she's hacked. That'll be shots upcoming for her. So Magnotta, more issues from the line, but her teammate's able to clean it up, and now Underwood will have a chance for 2 shots.
Underwood on the day, 1 for 4 from the free throw. That's Jones, never mind. Underwood 0 for 2 from the free throw line, now make that 0 for 3.
She will have a second one upcoming. Trying to extend her team's edge to 5 with 3:40 remaining in quarter number 3. one rolls in for Underwood, so she's able to split from the line. It's 26-21 in favor of Central Valley. Vikings need some points here on this possession, as the pass was nearly stolen. Loose ball, and Mount Pleasant's Julianne Kaup able to come up with it. Now the Vikings have numbers. A pass inside. A point-blank shot doesn't go for the Vikings in Baranek, but we have a foul against Central Valley as the Vikings were able to stay with it. Looked like Baranek actually intercepted a pass intended for one of her teammates. Still's able to get a good look. Couldn't hit the first, but now she'll have a chance going to the stripe.
And that shot was point-blank. Absolutely a layup, uncontested. Just right in front of the rim, which sometimes is even trickier as she misses the first free throw, because there's not a nice part of the backboard to use, and just a little too strong off the back iron, able to collect and earn a trip to the free throw line.
First one misses, second one also strong for Baranek. Not able to trim into the 5-point deficit for the Vikings. As Magnotta moves the basketball to the left side. Now Hiltz will dish off to a teammate. She gets it right back from the foul line, moves it to the right corner, pull-up jumper. That's an air ball, but a good job by Jones to keep it alive. She throws it up top where it goes to Kiefer for Mount Pleasant. She comes up with a steal. 1-on-2, open court, off of glass on the scoop shot. Good. Nice-looking take by Gabby Kiefer. She makes it 26-23. Her team now down by 3 points.
That's only the second basket of the quarter for Mount Pleasant, and that one relatively easy. All the work was done defensively and able to just beat the defense down the floor. Look for more of that out of the Vikings.
Basketball in the right corner for Underwood. Now she'll dribble up top. Between the circles, Central Valley's Hiltz moves it to the left side. Now it's Fry with the basketball, trying to get it inside, running out of room. Tries to hand off to a teammate, but it's stolen by the Vikings. Now Trainer with the basketball, beautiful feet ahead, but it was a little too low for Baranek. She couldn't come up with it. It leads to a turnover. Central Valley now has the basketball. This one's kicked out of bounds. Who's it off? It'll stay with the Warriors.
Hey, Mount Pleasant's had opportunities in this third quarter. The missed layup right in front of the basket, that bounce pass ahead in transition was a nice look ahead to an open player that was just too low to be handled. The Vikings have done a nice job of affording themselves opportunities in the interim when Hannah Hempfield's been sitting with 3 fouls. Now she's back in the game, and she does so much for this team offensively. 14 points in the fourth in overtime against Southmoreland.
Warriors with possession and a 3-point edge as a dribbling display by Magnotta. She'll now give across to Underwood between the circles. Dribbles to her right now, spins in, loses her footing, but it's because she was tripped. As the Vikings have already committed 16 fouls, still 1:44 left in quarter number 3. And that's the fourth against Trainer as she will exit. Bungard comes back in. To your point, Andy, you talked about Hempfield, one of the top players, as is Bungard. Neither one of them have really been able to get into that offensive rhythm here in this contest. Warriors get the basketball in right before the 5-second count had expired. Now Underwood drives in, dishes back. Hiltz tries to get to the cup, but she's cut off, so she moves to a teammate, now gets the basketball back. She'll dribble behind the arc. Finds a lane, gets to the hoop. A little strong off of glass. Basketball on the floor, and it's a loose ball foul against Central Valley. I believe that one will be charged to Underwood. We'll see.
It is, and that's 4 on Kaylin Underwood.
And that comes at a terrible time as she really was the only player for Central Valley able to find her mark in this third stanza. To the Vikings with 1:20 left in quarter number 3, trailing by 3. Hempfield moves it to Bungard in the left corner. Now she throws it down low. Good interior passing by the Vikings. Spinning shot inside, no good, but fouled on the attempt was Mount Pleasant. And Maya Kleja, who checked into the contest for the first time. So Klejka will head to the stripe. First foul shot misses. This Vikings team isn't afraid to go deep into its bench, though. Second one upcoming for Klejka. That one is swished. So she goes 1 of 2 on her attempts, makes it 26-24. Now a 2-point edge for the Warriors. Final minute of this third stanza. I'm Sean Meyers alongside Andy Stanko on the call. Jess Levo doing a great job filming this contest. Vikings applying some good pressure defense. Now an interior pass broken up. Basketball loose. Central Valley's Jones able to get to it. And then she's pushed. And that'll be the 7th team foul. So the Warriors already in the bonus still in this third frame.
Hey, if Central Valley had made its free throws up to this point, it would definitely be a double-digit game, but that hasn't been the case. We'll see if the Warriors can buck that trend and potentially use these free throws to sort of pull away late in this one.
1-and-1 chance for Jones. She's able to hit it. That will allow her to take a second one, trying to make it a 2-possession edge for Central Valley. This one moves on to the quarterfinals to play Cardinal World North Catholic. Second shot swished by Jones. It's 28-24. Hempfield's pass is stolen by Jones. She was able to soar through to pick that pass off. Now the Warriors trying to take firm control of this contest. 25 seconds and another foul committed by Mount Pleasant, and in particular Hannah Hempfield. That'll be her 4th.
With just 24.6 seconds left in the third quarter, that's not a nice foul to give. And it'll send Magnotta back to the free throw line where she's missed 5 in a row. But she's done a nice job getting there and getting Mount Pleasant in foul trouble. It's Kubuski and Hempfield and Trainer all with 4 fouls, and those are 4 starters for Mount Pleasant.
Magnotta is able to convert the first, so finally some free throws starting to fall for the Warriors. That makes it a 29-24 edge. Second one pure as well. Magnotta hits both. It is 30-24, now down to 21 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. Mount Pleasant drives inside, little floater. Too strong that time by Kalp. And a loose ball foul against Mount Pleasant again. First shot didn't go for Kalp, and then the Vikings compound that miss by getting the loose ball foul. 9th team already, and we are still in quarter number 3.
And the third quarter's been better for Central Valley in terms of makes. Each of the last 6 points for Central Valley have all been free throws, which is more than the total free throw makes that CV had in the entire first half. So some progress there. Make that 7 points in a row from free throws for Central Valley.
That one wasn't pretty for Harley Johns, but it did ultimately rattle through. And she will have one more upcoming. Her team now up by 7 points. Second one too strong. And now the Vikings have a chance for the final shot. Kalp with it, moves it to Bungard. Now it's into the right corner, back up top to Bungard from the right wing. Ball fake, drives inside, little floater. That one short off the Iron team's battling for it. Mount Pleasant gets it up and in the closing seconds. Jaworski able to get 2 points, much needed. As a result, Central Valley will hold a 31-26 lead as we head to quarter number 4. You are listening to and watching 2017 WPIAL Girls Playoff Basketball, sponsored by Carlow University, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlow. Tell us your story using #WhatDrivesYou. Carlow University, a proud sponsor of the MSA Sports Network.
What you want? What you want?
What you want is to stay warm this winter by logging on to www.msasports.net each and every day. We have all the schedules, the scores, the rankings, and the standings of the high school winter sports, plus weekly shows like Inside the WPIAL Wrestling Circle, the PIHL Power Play Show, and the WPIAL Roundball Report, along with live and archive broadcasts of whatever your favorite high school sport is. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this winter. It's the MSA Sports Network.
This is the MSA Sports Network, your home for 2016-17 WPIAL playoff basketball. This is a first-round girls matchup with number 8 Central Valley holding a 31-26 lead over Mount Pleasant. Quarter number 4 now underway with the Warriors in possession, going left to right as we see it. I'm Sean Meyers alongside Andy Stanko at Peters Township. Warriors get it inside, a lot of contact, no call. Jones follows up, and she's fouled. That is already the 10th team foul, so the Warriors 2 shots from here on out. Fourth personal foul, I should say, against Shagan. It's the first foul shot, no good for Jones. Vikings down by 5, but all sorts of foul issues here in this second half. Jones strong on the second one. Basketball tipped out of bounds. Last touched by Central Valley's Kostowski.
So after a 15 for 17 first half from the free throw line, 7 of 14 so far in the second half for Central Valley.
What was the first half?
5 for 17.
There we go.
Pardon me.
That sounds a little more accurate. As the Vikings have the basketball on the left wing, Bungard. Now the basketball swung to the left corner. High arcing shot. That's an air ball as the Warriors come up with the rebound. Central Valley now with the lead. Fry with the basketball. She'll bounce it back to her teammate. Kostowski doing a lot of dribbling moves it across to the left side. As Kalia Jones drives in, nearly a turnover, and now her teammate tight-roping the timeline. Fry, great job not getting the backcourt violation. Magnotta has the basketball, and now we're seeing a much more patient approach from the Warriors. Magnotta wide open from the corner, and she's able to stroke it. Trifecta for Central Valley. And timeout immediately taken by Mount Pleasant.
And Kylie Magnotta, the game's leading scorer with 16. The next leading scorer for either team is Kaylin Underwood with 7 for Central Valley. And in a game as low scoring as this one, 16 points is enormous, especially for a player that did not start the game, really got in, played well, stayed out there, and has made an impact in a number of different ways. And that shot, an 8-point lead, looks huge right now for Mount Pleasant, who's really struggled offensively. Just 7 points in that third quarter, the lowest scoring quarter for either team in this ballgame.
That was the first three-pointer either way since quarter number 1. Not a lot of shots falling for either one of these squads this afternoon here at Peters Township as the Vikings get the basketball in. Now enter the front court. Good ball fake. Passes an errant one, however, that time by Jaworski. Vikings are able to run it down as Kiefer has it. Moves it over Bungard, an open 3. That one a little strong. Long rebound and a great hustle play that time by Jaworski, but she was not able to stay in. So it'll go back to Central Valley. That's what the Vikings are going to have to do, though. If the shots aren't falling, they're going to have to win those 50-50 battles from here on out, Andy, with 6.5 remaining in quarter number 4, trailing now by 8 points. Jones ahead 1-on-2. Doesn't get the shot off, but she's fouled. It won't matter because it's going to be 2 foul shots from here on out for the Warriors.
And I'm not sure how long you can, if you're Mount Pleasant, get away with just hoping Central Valley will miss free throws. You don't want to be fouling because then you can work in transition. Another missed free throw there for Central Valley. And also at this point in the fourth quarter, down by 8, it only gets done with scores and stops. It has to be on both ends of the floor executing for Mount Pleasant.
After missing the first, Jones trying to convert the second. Low crouch. That one strong. High rebound tipped around. Central Valley comes up with it. Jones now follows it up. She can't get it to go. Warriors and Vikings still battling. We're going to have a jump ball. Possession arrow will give it to Mount Pleasant. Well, right now Central Valley appears to be in a good position, but still plenty of time left. If the Warriors do not prevail in this one, Andy, it's pretty easy to see what the problem was, and that's...
You can point to the free throws.
Absolutely.
And that's that.
Vikings need to get something going here offensively. They have struggled in the second half. As Kiefer moves it to Bungard. She fires a pass inside. Floating layup is good off of glass. Good body control that time by Trainer. Her first point since quarter number 1. makes it 34-28, just under 6 minutes left. Now Fry the other way. She's tightly defended by Bungard. Nearly traveled there, but she was able to get it off her hip and move it to a teammate as Hiltz finds an open shot from the corner in the form of Caitlin Underwood, and she's able to drill it. Good second half for her continues. She's playing with 4 fouls out there. Has posted her team once again to an 8-point edge. Now on the left side, Trainer. She dribbles up top. Bungard on the right side, about 8 feet behind the three-point arc. Good ball movement. It's now in the right corner for a three-pointer. Air ball, follow-up opportunity for Mount Pleasant. Trainer has it swatted away, gets back out to Bungard. She's long again. Mount Pleasant just can't buy a hoop, and Central Valley comes up with it. Jones with a strong rebound. And now Jones gets it the other way underneath. Her pass, big to big, never made it through, however. Vikings could have a 3-on-2 fast break. Layup attempt inside, doesn't go for Kiefer. Now the basketball's on the floor. Central Valley able to come up with it. Bodies everywhere. We're going to have another jump ball. No, it's not necessarily a masterpiece out there right now, Andy, but it doesn't matter how you win as long as you win at this time of year. That's the number one goal, is just to find a way to advance.
And this is it for Mount Pleasant, putting Hannah Hempfield back into the game. She picked up her fourth foul in the final 24 seconds of the fourth quarter. So if there's going to be a time, it has to be now for Mount Pleasant. And the last time Mount Pleasant scored, it was the layup for Trainer. Immediately on the next possession, Central Valley goes down and gets a basket from Underwood. So you've got to string together the scores and stops in order to make a comeback of this amount of at least 8 points. And that 8 points seems like a huge number when the leading scorer for Mount Pleasant has 6, and that's Julianne Kaup. And I'm not even sure if she'll be on the floor for the end of the game.
Well, you figure Hempfield and Bungard are the two girls that are going to have to lead a comeback surge for the Vikings. Scenario is this: fourth quarter of play. It is a 36-28 lead for Central Valley, the number 8 seed in this Class 4A girls bracket here in 2017. Mount Pleasant, the number 9 team, has already committed 10 team fouls, just 4 on the other side for the Warriors. 3 timeouts remaining each way. Possession arrow favoring the higher-seeded Central Valley Warriors. Sean Meyers, Andy Stanko here on the call from Peters Township High School. Second of 3 games here with Washington and Elwood City set to follow. We won't have the call, but it will be streamed on the MSA Sports Network, as every playoff game is here in 2017, including, by the way, City League basketball championships on Sunday, both boys and girls. From the Pete, as the Vikings trying to come up with a steal here. Good defense by Kiefer, but Central Valley able to maintain possession. And now Underwood has it, moves it inside. Inside out game leads to an open three-pointer. Shot doesn't go. Long rebound grabbed by Mount Pleasant's Kiefer. Her pass is stolen, however, now it's tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Vikings, but we've seen tremendous hustle by Magnotta all afternoon long as she continues it there.
And in that situation in transition, a lot of players have a tendency to try to pass over the top and go high. So a nice job by Magnotta to take that away and force it out of bounds. Many times a ball fake and then dribbling around, or a ball fake and a bounce pass will get that job done.
4:12 remaining in regulation. It is an 8-point lead for Central Valley. Jumper from three-point land, no good for Bungard from the right corner. And a strong rebound by Central Valley. Is now pushing the pace as Hiltz gets it underneath and able to get the 2-point field goal as Underwood, who continues her terrific second half.
11 points, all of them coming in the second half, and many of them coming on that left side of the basket, where she's just using that left hand and shielding her body, or shielding defenders with her body.
Double-digit lead for the Warriors. Three-pointer the other way for Hempfield. That's an air ball. And I think it really started back in quarter number 1, Andy, with the issues with her elbow guard and then the foul problem. She just has not been able to find a rhythm.
Yes, she hasn't been. The shot hasn't been falling, and for Hempfield, that really is what she can provide for this team, is her scoring. Not too many today, just 5 points, all in the first half.
Unseasonably warm Saturday afternoon here in mid-February as we are in first-round action of the WPIAL Girls Basketball Playoff. Central Valley up by double digits. A spinning shot inside by Jones. She was fouled on the way up. That'll be 2 more for her from the charity stripe.
And that foul is on Kubuski.
That will bring an end to her afternoon. She will exit without a point scored in this game. Right now it seems like the scenario is pretty simple for Central Valley. If the Warriors even make a more than 50% rate on their foul shots from here on out, they should be in a good scenario. And now, massive substitutions. 3 players coming in for the Vikings, trying to find a spark late here with 3:14 remaining in regulation, trailing by 10 with Jones an opportunity to make it a bigger deficit. That's the first one. Rattles home. She had missed 4 in a row from the stripe prior to that. Second one upcoming. Jones hits both. Much needed as her team's now up by a dozen. Vikings now going to have to start getting some quick strike possessions. As Hempfield has it, looks inside, beautiful feed. The layup missed, however. Baranek had a good look at it, just couldn't hit it, and Central Valley comes up with the basketball. You expect to see maybe a little bit more pressure from Mount Pleasant defensively here. Andy, as I say that, the Vikings come up with a steal, and now Kiefer, head of the pack, soars in for a layup attempt that rattles off the front of the rim. Baranek's putback, that also doesn't go, but she's going to head to the line for 2 shots.
That sort of sums up the day for Mount Pleasant. Quite a few shots that could have gone down, haven't gone down for the Vikings, and a lot of energy exerted last Thursday just to get into the playoffs, but not a carryover here in the first round.
First shot misses as it rolls off to the right for Baranek. She will have 1 more upcoming, but now with her team down by a dozen, just over 2.5 minutes remaining, Vikings are going to be nearly perfect from here on out. Second shot also strong, and the rebound grab by Central Valley. Now the Warriors get into the front court. They get it down to Jones, wide open. She turns around, sees there's no one in front of her, and gets an easy 2. Vikings quickly get it ahead to Kiefer. Her drive inside, dishes off to Baranek. Now a scramble for the basketball. Warriors come up with it. Central Valley just taking this game over in the second half. As Magnotta dribbles into the right corner, passes it back up top. Ball was tipped, but Central Valley still has it as Hiltz, who's able to maintain the dribble. Now she's fouled. Looks like the Warriors in a good position to move on. Timeout will be taken by Mount Pleasant. So very polite still is Coach Scott Jacoby as he says, can I have a timeout, please? It's a full timeout. We'll keep it right here. 2:05 left in quarter number 4. Mount Pleasant down by 14 as the season could be coming to an end in just a few minutes for the Vikings. Central Valley, it hasn't been necessarily pretty at times. There's a lot of things to clean up, but the Warriors should be pretty pleased if they're able to hang on and advance, just because sometimes in the postseason, Andy, you're going to have to win these scrappy games that aren't necessarily pretty, but you do whatever it takes to move on.
Yeah, and in the second half, Central Valley's outscored Mount Pleasant 24-9. And that's been the difference in this game. Neither team really asserted itself in the first half. Both were just sort of feeling their way through what was a very tightly officiated game with a bunch of free throws, a bunch of missed free throws. But in the second half, you can point to the play of Underwood, Jones, Magnotta as really being difference makers, where for Mount Pleasant, you haven't had anyone in particular step up, and no player with multiple field goals in the second half for the Vikings, who have only scored 9 points.
Reminder, after this game concludes, we're going to hope to have the post-game interview sponsored by Carlow University, as well as the scoring recap brought to you by First Commonwealth Bank. As the Warriors to the line for foul shots. First one is swished. I've not seen a lot of foul shots go in without touching the rim, but Madison Hiltz able to hit that one. Second one upcoming. Low crouch this one. Well, it didn't hit rim, but it was because it was an air ball. So Hiltz, 1 of 2. Her team up by 15 with 2:05 left in quarter number 4. Reminder that we will also have written summaries of all the contests that the network is broadcasting here on this Saturday. Action-packed day after the playoffs began last night as a deep three. That one nearly banked in for Bungard, but it was still a bit strong, and Jones grabs the rebound. She's swinging elbows around, protecting the basketball, and she's going to head to the line as the Vikings commit another foul.
And for Chagin, that'll be 5 fouls on her.
Some of the Vikings fans none too happy with the call. So that will bring an end to Shagan's day. She also exits without finding the score column. Well, there's a bit of a delay here, as maybe a little bit of gamesmanship for the Vikings as they use the full 30 seconds to get Shagan off the floor. She exits and Maya Kleka comes in her spot. Jones makes the first. Well, if nothing else, she's getting plenty of foul shooting practice in this game. Second one forthcoming. That one's pure as well.
And she's 7 for 12 on the day.
Gets over 50%. Full timeout taken. This time it's taken by Central Valley, and the Warriors holding a 45-28 lead. Late stages of quarter number 4. Just a reminder, in this 12-team bracket, top 4 seeds all advance courtesy of the bye to the quarterfinals. Number 1, Cardinal World North Catholic. Number 2, Blackhawk. Number 3, Ambridge. Number 4, Keystone Oaks. Cardinal World awaits the winner of this contest, which appears to be Central Valley. I want to thank Jess Slevo again for the great job that she's done, not only for this game, but for the game that preceded it, boys action, with Southmoreland scoring an overtime victory against Avonworth. You can go back and watch these games archived on the MSA Sports YouTube page. You can also listen to the audio version archived, much like every broadcast. So the Vikings sensing an end to their 2016-17 campaign. And Andy, for the seniors on a team that's about to play its final game, it certainly has to be an emotional time. In one sense, it's all the great memories that you've built up over those 4 years. In the other sense, it's a disappointment of seeing your season end with a loss. As a three-pointer doesn't go for the Vikings, basketball out of bounds. It'll stay with Mount Pleasant.
Well, this team and this class went through a lot just to get to the postseason and to get to this game itself, where needed a loss by Bell Vernon, needed to beat Southmoreland, had a big 17-point comeback in the second half. I'd imagine a lot that's emotionally draining to get through, and to have that moment in that high and then turn around and play a game like this one against a good team like Central Valley. A Central Valley team that no slouch in the Warriors. So a tough loss, but certainly a strong season and a great moment to beat Southmoreland this past Thursday.
Ahead of the pack was Kiefer for Mount Pleasant, but the basketball was stripped from behind. It'll stay with the Vikings as Ann Shinsky will come on the floor for Mount Pleasant. She's a junior. Both teams bringing some of the reserve players onto the floor. Checking in for Central Valley, Madison Hiltz, as a round of applause for Magnata as the freshman checks out after a very impressive performance. Just over a minute remaining, quarter number 4. It's 45-28 Central Valley. Vikings season about to come to an end. Three-pointer rattles out. Offensive rebound. The putback is good for Mount Pleasant and Jaworski. Josie Bentler will check in once again for the Vikings as we have another timeout. Coaches want to make sure all the girls here get an opportunity to step foot on the court for a playoff game. And for those who don't see the floor a lot, it is always a special moment to take part of a playoff contest. As again, the MSA Sports Network will stream the third of 3 games to be played here this afternoon at Peters Township. Little Prexy's cheerleaders getting prepared in front of us as Washington will take on Elwood City. Vikings return to the floor with their 5, trailing 45-30. Hope to once again have a post-game interview with head coach Chris Russo in his 3rd year leading Central Valley. Remember, it's been quite a turnaround for this program since he's taken over. And Engelman on the floor now for the Warriors. Pass ahead, it's going to be a layup opportunity, and able to convert is Johns for Central Valley. She gets her first field goal tonight. I guess I should say afternoon. It's still not quite nighttime. Vikings come back the other way. Floating shot doesn't go for Kalp. Basketball's tipped out of bounds. Last off of Mount Pleasant. MSA Sports Network's going to have comprehensive coverage over the next couple weeks on the path to the Pete, and even all the way up to the state championship up at the Giant Center in Hershey. Warriors appear content to run the clock out. Vikings not waving the white flag yet, though, as Mount Pleasant forces a turnover, now a jump ball. Possession arrow will keep it with Mount Pleasant. .3 remaining. It was nearly a backcourt violation against Kalp. Now in drive inside by Jaworski. Her bounce pass was tipped out of bounds. It'll once again stay with Mount Pleasant as she was looking to try to get it to Shinsky. And now another timeout taken by the Vikings. And in a sense, this is kind of delaying the inevitable now for Mount Pleasant. But again, Andy, the Vikings want to get some of these girls a taste of the playoffs.
And for Mount Pleasant, a couple seniors moving on. Gabby Kiefer, Hannah Hempfield, Carrie Bungard, the 3. And a Mount Pleasant team that lost 4 senior contributors from last season, including Morgan Barlock, the leading scorer. Last year's team finishing 10-2 in section, but losing in the first round to Hampton. This year's team 8-6 in section behind Keystone Oaks, South Park, and Elizabeth Forward. Going to bow out to Central Valley.
Spinning shot inside is good. There's a strong finish to this game by Jaworski. The Vikings nearly force a turnover and then a big collision. And the last thing you want to see is a player banged up in what is inconsequential time as Kirby went down hard, but she's back up on her feet. She'll head to the line for 2 shots with her team ahead 47-32. Just 2.5 seconds remaining. Gonna have to mend that final score tweet that you had ready.
I am.
As the first foul shot is good for Kirby. She's on the score sheet, 48-32. Second one, that one good as well. Kirby hits them both. Final seconds ticking off. Desperation heave by the Vikings strong, and this one has gone final. Central Valley scores a 49-32 victory over Mount Pleasant. We'll step aside briefly. We'll be back with the post-game wrap-up. You are listening to and watching 2017 WPIAL Girls Basketball Playoffs. It's sponsored by Carlow University. It's here on the MSA Sports Network.
Once again, the site to go to for PIHL high school hockey is the MSA Sports Network. Not only can you listen to audio broadcasts online at msasports.net, but once again this year, MSA Sports will video stream 25 live and archived high school hockey games during the regular season, powered by the PIHL, Tribune Review, and Chatham University. Plus, MSA Sports has exclusive broadcast of the Penguins Cup playoffs. Your home for the PIHL is the MSA Sports Network. What am I going to do about this year's promo? What the?
Don, it's me, Sam Hall. All you need to do is say, for the inside scoop and an entertaining update of district boys and girls high school basketball, tune into the WPIAL Roundball Report every Wednesday night at 6, only here on the network.
Well, thanks, ghost of co-host past.
But you should strongly consider bringing me back. Please, help! The traffic never stops. It's like a Georgia Titus offense. God!
That's the WPIAL Roundball Report every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. on the MSA Sports Network.
Back here to wrap this one up as Central Valley advances to the quarterfinals as the Warriors score a 49-32 victory over Mount Pleasant. It's now time for the post-game interview sponsored by Carlow University, the proud sponsor of all girls high school athletics here on the network. And in his third year at Central Valley, Chris Russo and Coach, this has been quite a turnaround. You took over. The first year was not a good one, but you get your team to the playoffs and you score victory here over a perennial playoff team in Mount Pleasant. Talk about what it's taken to get to this program to this point where you're having a very successful 2016-17 campaign.
Obviously, you have to have players. I mean, I knew when I took the job at 8th grade class, that's Underwood's class, that there was some talent coming, and we were able to, a couple kids that were there before, I mean, we just had a nice mix of players, and they bought into what we were doing, and, you know, things have worked out. They still, at times, show their youth, like the first half when we go 5 for 17 from the foul line, but, you know, that's the good thing about young kids. They kind of forget real quick and come out and play, and they did a nice job in the second half. That's a good team. It's a physical team. And, you know, that's what we were concerned about, their physicality down below. But we did a nice job.
Coach, we had mentioned multiple times, when you're in the playoffs, it's not always going to be pretty. This was, in a sense, an ugly win at times, but you guys did enough. You hit the foul shots. You played really good defense. You won a lot of the loose balls. Is that kind of the game plan when you come in and knowing you're going against a physical Mount Pleasant team that you're going to have to scrap and grind your way to the W?
And Coach does a nice job with him. You know, he's an ex-football coach. So that mentality is they're going to be physical and try to beat you up. You know, and it was a real concern. I mean, I thought for what we had out there, we got an early foul trouble that we brought Engelman off. She's another freshman, and Harley Johns, you know, were able to get us through, you know, what we needed to do. That's what I said at halftime. We had no points out of Underwood, Kalia Jones, and Hiltz. And we were 5 for 17 from the line, so we were in pretty good shape. I was upset with the way we were playing, but we knew we could play a lot better than that.
What'd you think of the performance from Kylie Magnata? 16 points, and it seems like she was really in control a lot of the afternoon.
Fry. They got the
Fry.
name. They got the positions wrong, or the numbers.
Well, Fry then.
Yeah.
She had an awesome day.
Well, she's been doing it all year for us. And, you know, as a freshman, she shows no emotion, just plays the game. That was probably the most emotion she showed when she missed those 4 or 5 foul shots in the first half. And I can almost guarantee you one thing. Her dad coaches with me. She'll probably take his keys tonight and make him take her to the gym, and they're going to get on a foul line and shoot a couple hundred. But she's been like that, our leader all year. She's just a very composed young lady.
Tell Dad to not get too mad at us here as we misidentified based on that. Nonetheless, we were able to clearly identify that you guys move on to the next round. You know you're going to have an awfully good opponent awaiting. What's it going to take to continue this run?
Well, we played a perfect game. I mean, you know what? But like I told the kids, why not? Any given night, I mean, you know, Blackhawks played and we played Blackhawk tough. You know, we're capable of playing a team like that, and we've played like that all year. The talent level of the teams we play, we seem to pick it up and play at that level. So hopefully Thursday night we're able to do that, and we welcome the challenge.
Coach, congratulations on the victory. Thank you for joining us. Good luck moving forward.
Anytime, guys. I appreciate what you do. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Central Valley, a convincing victory here this afternoon, 49-32. That was a post-game interview sponsored by Carlow University. And Andy, I know you're somewhat of a newcomer in your second year with the MSA Sports Network, my fourth year. Every now and then you kind of have miscues, and unfortunately we found out that the roster for Central Valley was not correct, so scoring recap might get a little ugly for you, but nonetheless, let's look at that scoring recap, which is sponsored by First Commonwealth Bank. It's time to be first.
It's time to be first, and we'll start with Central Valley in that case, and Christiane Fry, 16 points. And I think the PA guy had that as well. So,
yeah, we're going to have to get this all squared away because it's going to get ugly for my written recap if I don't get that sorted out.
So if Fry and Magnata were switched, Magnata had 5 points, Fry with 16, Kalia Jones 11, Kaylin Underwood 11, 5 from Magnata, 3 from Harley Jones, 2 from Allison Kirby, and 1 from Madison Hiltz. And on the other side for Mount Pleasant, this really shows it all. 6 from Kalp, 5 from Trainer. Gabby Kiefer with 4. Hempfield with 5. Bungard with 3. And Baranek with 1. I might be missing some by the end of the game, but no score over 6 by my count.
I'm on the same page with you there.
And so for Mount Pleasant, a tough day, a loss, and that'll end the Vikings season here in the first round.
Mount Pleasant with the season and ending defeat will conclude with a mark of 13-10 for Central Valley. The Vikings, another one in the win column, 15-7, as again they will move on to play Cardinal Ward North Catholic, the number 1 overall seed in this 4A classification. That game to be played on February 23rd. Any final thoughts on this one here, Andy? Again, Central Valley probably didn't play its prettiest game of the season, but the Warriors did enough to move on, and I think they really clamped down on the defensive end as this game progressed.
Yeah, Central Valley outscored Mount Pleasant 29-13 over the final 2 quarters of the game. So really a strong performance down the stretch after our first half where Coach referenced it, 5 for 17 from the free throw line isn't going to cut it. And this is a team that's seen Blackhawk, Ambridge, and Beaver twice this season, as of last season, as of the year before. So this team knows what really strong girls basketball in this class is. But Coach said it has to take a perfect game. And this game was nice in the fact that they were able to ease into it, play a first half that they weren't proud of, and still come away with a win. It's got to be high level the entire time against an outstanding North Catholic squad coming up later in the year.
Well, that's going to do it here. Once again, want to thank our sponsors. The scoring recap brought to you by First Commonwealth Bank, Time to Be First, and the post-game interview by Carlow University, which is the proud sponsor of all girls high school athletics here on the MSA Sports Network. Once again, your final score, Central Valley 49, Mount Pleasant 32, as the number 8 seed moves on. The number 9 seed goes home. For my broadcast colleague Andy Stanko, for Jess Levo, who worked the camera, this is Sean Meyers signing off. You have been listening to and watching the 2017 WPIAL Girls Basketball Playoffs. It's sponsored by Carlow University. It was here only on the MSA Sports Network.
You have been listening to exclusive coverage of the 2017 WPIAL Basketball Playoffs only at MSASports.net. Sponsored by Carlow University, by UPMC Sports Medicine, by First Commonwealth Bank, by Progress, and by Management Science Associates. You can follow all the winter sports postseason action every day by logging on to www.msasports.net. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of the Management Science Associates Sports Network.